Michael, do you remember, like, at the time when you were unraveling, deconstructing these constructs, were there things that you were nervous to talk about? Like,
for years, every step of the way, it was scary. It was never an easy letting go of any of it. Like, the first thing was the mark of the beast.
What's the mark of the beast?
The mark of the beast, like I grew up hearing these sermons about like the end times and the Antichrist, and you would get the mark of the beast put on your forehead or your hand, like 666. And if you got it, you go to hell. And if you didn't get it, you get your head chopped off by the Antichrist.
This is some medieval times, and this is how you know I was raised Catholic. That is wild.
Yeah, so there was like movies about it, and so my first kind of like secret question was like, I thought the whole New Testament was about like moving it into the internal space rather than the external. Like, it was about the law and stuff before, and it was like, now it's about what we believe in our hearts. Why at the end does it go back to external? And then I was like, wait, the forehead and the hand, is that like a metaphor? Like your thoughts and your actions? And maybe like, is it not a literal thing? And I was like, oh, I can't say that, but I think that seems more real. That seems more true. And I had to like keep that to myself. And I was like, started reading some things metaphorically. That was the first thing. And I was like,
whoa,
can't talk about that.
The mark of the beast. I mean, that's just like a bad Saturday night. I think that's not like.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to chime in on the whole beast thing. Look, that got out of hand. I'll admit, that did get out of hand.
That sounds like a PR thing gone wrong.
We sold a lot of books.
Yeah, you did.
Treen, I'm going to send you a copy. I do want to apologize. You know, Tim LaHaye, we really trusted him with that, and he kind of fumbled. It became a little too real. So, Michael, I do apologize.
Oh, no.
I do apologize.
I forgive you. It's
those were great books. They were great books. We made a lot of money. We did a lot of good things with that money. But
Nick Cage got involved at some point.
Nick,
my God.
This thing, Treen, you got to understand, this went higher than I could have ever imagined, even though I knew it would, of course. But, you know, I do apologize. There was some damage done. And I think there's some merit to Michael's point.
Wow, I'm really glad we cleared the air on that one as well. And thank you for teaching me something about evangelical Christianity that I didn't yet know. For me, I remember like things like I started masturbating later in life because of Catholicism. And so things like self-pleasure and of course sex and of course considering alternate systems to monogamy, like thinking about what are people doing when they're poly? What are people doing when they're E&M? Just thinking about those things, thinking about reincarnation, thinking about other deities, thinking about that God could have feminine attributes or maybe be a feminine being. All of that felt so taboo. And I had to like open the soup lid very slowly in order for the steam to get out.
That's what you call it, the soup lid?
Right
you
now. Will you play the kazoo?
Well, can you? No.
I needed that.
I believe you said that you began masturbating because of Catholicism, and that's intriguing.
Oh, wow. What a misspeak.
It's like, man, I should have been Catholic. And now, from your kneeler, unzip.
I can't recover. No, that was a grave misspeak. I did not even know I had anything. I did not know I had anything below the belt until I was like 30. I didn't think I knew I saw my feet. Anything between belly button and feet,
I see.
Off limits.
The soup lid was closed.
How would you define where you're at now in your faith journey and your relationship to God? I mean, I'm using the word God on this podcast intentionally as a reclamation.
Yeah.
But how would you define it now for yourself?
I find myself in God. The word God for me is a word that I use to name the unnameable, the mystery of whatever this is. And if I try to describe what is, I notice it's without boundary, it's without end, it's without beginning. It's completely whole in itself. It has no lack of anything. So a lot of the traditional words to describe God, like love and all present and all, even knowing in a way, like all of it still kind of applies, but it's not anymore projected onto a separate being, but it is the ocean in which any wave that I perceive of myself, my thoughts, my feelings, my sensations, all of that is within the ocean. God is the ocean, and anything I witness is a wave, including whatever I might think of as myself. My relationship to that is being subsumed and consumed by that moment to moment in the mystery of existence.
Wow. God, what do you think? I think Michael's got it. He's onto something.
God went silent. That's
Yeah.
right. There it was. That was the real God for a second.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Well, we are almost at the end of our deconstruction podcast journey today. I thought we could all riff, mainly Michael and I, but God join in from a marketing perspective of like, what are the stages of deconstruction? I thought we could give them some like funny chapter title headings. I do want to bring back Mark of the Beast because I think that's important. Okay, so stage 1, well, you're kind of like you're like in tortured bliss, I would say.
Well, tortured bliss, I mean, before tortured bliss, you're usually at a place of like something's the construct is working, right? So it's like feels harmonious. The belief feels harmonious with your identity, with your environment. It's helping make sense of things, it's helping making meaning of things.
Yeah. And then chapter 2.
And then, yeah, there's like
Chapter 2 is like
a rock in the shoe.
Yeah, I was going to say a wedgie, like a really...
Yeah, wedgie.
It's
starts
like
riding up the soup can a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing a thong and I wore way too tight of jeans. And so there's no airflow down there.
And then you start chafing.
All right, let's continue this metaphor. You begin chafing. And chapter 3 is a full-blown rash. It's just, you actually have to go to the doctor.
And then the bleeding and the pustules.
Yeah.
And then the sepsis and death.
Okay, so you actually die.
Yeah.
You actually die in this chapter heading. But then chapter 5, I think, is
resurrection.
Is rebirth.
Easter.
Yeah. God, do you have any additions?
I think you two know exactly how you think that experience was. So yeah, let's leave it there.
I do think it's like worth pointing out some of the major issues I've seen. Usually, it depends how fundamentalist you were. Like most people aren't so fundamentalist that the mark of the beast is probably that big of a deal. But it could be anything. I mean, for some people, but usually along the path from evangelicalism, at least, you usually hit Genesis, something about like evolution or the age of the earth or something like that usually comes up. And then at some point, the question of gay and are gay people going to hell? And then hell comes up and the problem of evil comes up. Why would God allow suffering and evil? And those are the big ones that I've seen in myself and in like almost everyone that I've talked to that have gone through this.
Or some asshole runs for president.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
That's a big one.
But that's a catalyst. I think that's sort of like it reveals some of the hypocrisy of the community. And because the community, I do think is actually more of the source of why people hold these beliefs than the actual merit of the beliefs in themselves. It's actually like the impetus. How do you get a bunch of people to believe like crazy shit? You make them afraid of questioning it, and you make them afraid of questioning it by threatening their place in the community if they question it. So when the community all of a sudden is shown to be hypocritical and like the dark side in ways, it's like, oh, are we not the good guys? Like,
Yeah.
I thought we were the rebels in the Star Wars movie, not the Empire.
If you enjoyed that bite-sized snack of an episode, here's the link to the full episode.